Okay, guys, this is the project that we're going to create here. We're going to do the 16 bars. We're going to put in some piano or some melodic instrument using MIDI. And we're going to start off by creating a bass line and a drum track so we can start from there. We're going to start off with just browse the loops. And we're going to look for a drum set. So I'm hitting just loops, go to instruments. We're going to look for beats or drums. I'm just going to go into beats here. There's a lot of stuff in here. So if you find yourself overwhelmed with all of the different, samples in here, then give yourself, give yourself something a little bit more specific and go into the packs here and take a look at the packs. Now, if you want to go into genres, if you're into rock and metal, you want to do something that's more just like straight ahead, like blues rock. I'm going to just go from this blues rock set here, pretty straight ahead. I'm going to hit the drums. I'm going to take a look at the beats per minute to kind of like match up to what I want. 120 is like dance music. Anything slower than that is going to just get a little bit more laid back. And I just preview them a little bit. Let's check out these low end drums. That's got a lot more of the kick drum to it. I like this one with that splashy cymbal at the beginning. I'm gonna go with this one right here. And let's take a look. Okay, so good. We got a whole 4-bar set there. That's a straight 4/4 time signature. We're gonna stretch that out for 16 bars. And that's where we're gonna start out from. Next, we're gonna take a look at a bass line. Now, this is really important. The bass line is what we're going to use to kind of create the groove. So it's going to be our drum and our bass line working here. So let's preview. That's pretty straight ahead. That's too straight ahead. I'm going to go with this one, this low end driver. So there we go, another 4-bar loop, and stretch it out for 16 bars here, create a pattern. There we go. So now, at this point, if it doesn't motivate you and it doesn't inspire you, find something else to work from. Delete the track, bring in a new loop, find something different to bring in here. To delete the track, you can just right-click in the track header and go down here to delete the track. By the way, you can change the colors if you like purple better than blue. Whatever, you can change them however you want. That's what we got. Okay, so the next step here is to create a new track. And this is going to be an instrument. So I'm going to hit the add a track here, right here, this button, add a track. And I'm going to choose MIDI instruments. MIDI stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface. Basically, it's just computer controlled instrument here. And what we're going to do is we're going to first off select our instrument by clicking this tab right here, instrument. You can choose what you want to be, a piano, strings. I would say don't bring in another bass line. Don't do drum kits. You can do guitars. You could do piano, strings, synth keys, synth leads, winds, all those things would work. I'm just going to use a piano, and then right below that you can see that you can choose different piano sounds as well. You can preview them right there. I'm just going to use the grand piano to start from, and you can always change these later on. So select the grand piano. I don't have anything connected, but you're going to want to choose your controller. It's the Native Instruments Complete 24, I believe is what it's called. It might be called something else, mildly different. Okay, the next step is right here in this space. What we want to do is set this piano so that we're not including the sharps and flats in this. Instead, what we want to do is we want to match this keyboard here to our project, which is in the key of E major. So right here, where it says C, you can open this up and select E. So now we're going to be in the key of E. And then from here, this says lay out a set of notes for me to play from. And what we want is the major scale, because this is E major. So when we do that, we get this: E, F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, and D sharp. So there's a lot of black keys in there. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. And then it starts over. Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You can move up the piano by clicking this button right here. If you want higher notes, you can even go higher. That's the top of the piano. Or you can go much lower, depending on where you want it to be. Now, what I would say is, because the bass line is very low and the drums are low, let's put something to contrast that and go in the higher range up in here. Okay, so we're in the E major scale. Everything that we play here will match this. Okay, will match with this bass line. So I'm gonna hit the loop right here, and that sets this little red bar here. You can change the length of the loop, but let's just do it at 4 bars, so it just keeps playing these 4 bars over and over again, so that we get an idea of how we want this to sound. So if I play this, then I can come down here in this keyboard, and I'll start just dinking around with some notes. Something like that. Okay. Whatever you want to come up with, okay? So if you find something you're like, simple, it can be very simple. Once you have something that you like, we're going to go ahead and hit the record button. But before you do that, go right here to where your metronome is, hit this little drop down right here, and then come down here and click 2 bars. And what that's going to do is give you a count in for this. I'm going to change this to be a clave sound. There we go. And when we hit record, it'll count in 8 beats, and then it'll start recording. That gives us time to get ourselves together. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll stop right there. That's it. That's all I'm going to make, is just a very simple arrangement there. It doesn't have to be, and it can be more than 4 bars. It could be 8 bars. It could be 16 bars of just, something that you come up with where you're just playing. The important part is that it's in time. So the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to double click. Actually, let's play that back and see what it sounds like. So it's a little bit off time right in this section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to double click it. That's going to open my MIDI editor. And then if we take a look at the notes don't line up on these grids here. So what we're going to need to do is make them line up. The first one, most important, needs to go right at the beginning of the one. Now let's listen to it a little bit. Do, do, do. I think these three right here could slide over so they're on the grid like this. And this one's going to be kind of like in between. Now, if you want to move something and you don't want it to snap onto the grid, you go to your view and turn off the snap grid, and then you can adjust the positioning here. Let me see if I turn this on. Can I get in between? Nope. Let's see if we go to 32 is all we get. Never mind. That stuff's irrelevant to you guys. Let's hear what it sounds like. I'm gonna make them line up on these right on the beat. Okay, let's hear that. And then another thing I can do is like stretch these notes out a little bit. So I'm selecting them just by clicking and dragging, go into the end, and then let's stretch them out a little bit. So they kind of run into each other. It's called legato. Now I feel like we need one more note. Okay. Let's take this one and run it over. And then let's find out what note that is. Now if you hold the Option or the Alt key, you can copy a note. So holding the Option or Alt key, just click and drag, and we can find the note that we want to go to here. So let's listen. That needs to come down here because remember in our scale we have C sharp, and this note is C sharp right here. There we go. Do, 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 do. Let's see if that works right there. That's back to our root note. I'm going to bring another one right back up here. I want that to go faster, so it's going to sound like this. Do-dee-doo. I'm going to turn off the loop just so I can play it from right here. Actually, I want it to go do-do-do, do-do-do. Let's see what that sounds like. Let me run this back here. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. That's what I'm hearing. Do-do-do, do-do-do, do-do-do. Do-do-do, do-do-do. And that next one's going to be right here. And then one more down here. Let's see how that sounds. And that one needs to start right there. I can hear it. Let's select just this bottom one. I want that to run out a little bit. And then maybe that note again. Let's listen to that. Do-do-do. And if we loop that again, let's hear it. I want this first one to be higher. I want this note to go up higher. So let's go to add. You can move them around up and down if you want to be more careful. You can just move them around from here. Let's see, what was my starting point? B. You can add some notes in on the scale as well. I'm going to make these run together. So if you offset them a little bit, ring. And I just grabbed the end to trim that back a little bit. Let's see how that sounds. Maybe a little bit faster than that. There you go. Let's bring this overtone right here. I'm just building up some stuff here. I don't want to throw too much at you guys, but that note sounds good. Here. And then let's do it one more time right here. Try this one here. Let's see what that is. Ooh, do, do, do. So I'm just building a melody here. If you want to look at your instrument and remember which notes, so we get E, F sharp, that black key right there, G sharp, A, and B. So those two black keys can go in there. Let's put the black keys in. Let's do this one. What if that one goes right there? And then that one right there. There we go. Pretty. And then we'll just let that run out the whole way too. Now don't be intimidated by the music theory stuff. Just use that tool right here, this one, to figure out which notes you're allowed to play. You're only allowed to use those notes. Okay? You're only allowed to use those notes in whatever key you're in. So if you're in the D major scale, the notes shift. You only get to use these notes. In the E major scale, you only get to use these notes. So you can play whatever you want, really, as long as you use those notes. Okay, let's add one more here. And this track is going to be a vocal track, right? And it's not going to be, it doesn't have to be awesome, although Stephanie did a great job producing something. Mine is not going to be awesome, so don't laugh at me, okay? 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Sometimes things just work out, and you don't really have to think too much about it. Okay. Oh, I think I got my wrong, I got the wrong input there. My bad. that was terrible anyway, but now I got the right idea. Right here, I want to change this to the microphone that you're using. And you should see a test down here. You should see that you're getting a signal through right here. So let's do it one more time. And count in. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you don't have to think too much about it. Okay, so there's my track. Sometimes you don't have to think too much about it. Sometimes you don't have. Now, let's throw some effects on that, okay? So here's that sample. Now, there's sometimes, I'm going to trim off this part of my sample right here. And check this out, okay? So see this little thing right here? If we grab that, it's going to create a fade in on that. So we won't hear anything before that. Okay, and then right there, and I'm going to trim that off, and then I'm going to do a fade on the end, just like that. Sometimes you don't have to think too much about it. Let's add some effects to it. So we'll hit the effects tab right here. These are vocal presets here. There's all kinds of stuff you can get into. I'd say just loop the section. Sometimes you don't have to think too much about it. And you can add other things in here as well. Sometimes you don't have to think too much about it. You can try turning some of the filters on and off too. Sometimes you don't have to think too much about it. Sometimes you don't have to think too Playing around with delays. Sometimes you don't have to think too much about it. Sometimes you don't have to. And if you want to add other things in too, you can go in and experiment. Like I want to add reverb in here. Sometimes you don't have. Make it real dreamy, spaced out. Can even add more. Let's see what else there is. You guys can play around with these things. I don't want to get too far into this right now. This can go on forever. Now you could also add more instruments to it as well. So I'm going to add a track here because I'm hearing something in my head. I'm hearing this little piano. So I'm going to go to my instruments. And it's going to be high up. Okay, I want to hear something in that range right there. So again, go back to the beginning. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes you don't have to think too much about it. Okay, something like that. Just really simple, like staccato. And I'm going to make everything here, all my notes, line up by hitting the quantize button. Sometimes you don't have to think too much about it. And then I'm going to add an effect to that. I want it to be a delay. put a delay on there as well. Let's see what that sounds like. If I want all these to go higher, I can select them all. Try different notes. Okay, so I'm kind of hit or miss with this one. So maybe with this one, like, again, I'm just holding the Option key or the Alt key to drag this out. So this will come in and drop out. In fact, I think I'm actually going to make this shorter. So I'm just going to make it 2 bars long. And you want to make sure it hits right on your 2 bars. I'm going to make this start at the 3rd bar. And then I'm going to skip and I'm going to go to the 7th bar. So I'm skipping every other 2 bars to come up with a pattern here. And then I'll finish with that. And then I've got this groovy vocal here. And I'm just going to make that come in again right down here. And here's my... That's on the wrong beat. It goes right there. Look at the pattern here. There we go. One thing you should note is look at the visual arrangements here. Everything's the same, right? It's this set, and then it's this set, and then it's this set, and it's this set. They match up. There's a visual pattern to it. And that's what you want to work with here. So if you wanted to add anything else past that, you're welcome to get in. I love saxophone. So let's see if we can find a saxophone that is in E major. Hey, there we go. There's a bunch of them. Doesn't really sound that great here. That was not my favorite. That didn't really come through like I wanted it to. I think that's good right there. I think I like that. That has a nice, like, cohesive, it ties everything together, and it feels good. So that's the assignment right there. 16 bars, start with a drum and a bass, create an instrument track, at least one, that utilizes the key signature by using the instrument tool and editing the scale that you're producing in, okay? Now you can also experiment. So you see it's got the major scale. You can also try other types of major scales as well. So like this harmonic major. It's gonna be slightly different and will still work with this one. But I'd stay for it. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Just stick with the major or minor scale that you choose, okay? We'll get into the rest of that stuff as we progress. Once you're done, you're going to save it, okay? I'm gonna publish this track and This is a sample for Steph and Carlos. Okay. And that's it, guys. Let me see what we come up with.